Arsharae, and I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for coming. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave. Or well, why not just go ahead and hit it now? Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. If you are a subscriber or you've already been to my channel before, welcome back. If you have been to my channel before and you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button like now. Like pause the video and subscribe and then come back to the video. Okay? Anyways, this is Life After Lockup, episode 45. So this episode starts off where Cheryl is still insisting that John's mother hit her. And she says that Tina, she kind of like came for Tina's motherhood because John was in prison. So she's basically saying, like, basically what happened was that the 3-year-old wasted some water on the counter, and Tina was making him clean it up. He's not too young to, wipe down the counter. I don't think he is. I don't think he's too young to wipe down the counter. But Cheryl didn't like that. Cheryl said that she would get the water up, and she claims that Tim's mother hit her. Not Tim. John's mother hit her when she went to go clean up the water. Now, Tina never denied or admitted to hitting her from what I heard. I didn't hear her deny or admit hitting her. But yeah. So she's like, how can Tina teach a 3-year-old how to do something when she can't even teach her own kids how to stay out of jail? And I think that was a low blow. And I was like, oh, you should never, ever, ever, you should never, ever, ever, attack a woman's motherhood or parenting or any parent's parenting. Like, that's just crazy. I don't understand why she would do that, but some people just don't have respect and they don't care. But I don't think she should have done that at all. So Andrea and Lamar are at a sex store, basically. And when I see this, I'm like, why are they going to a sex store and they're not even having sex? Well, an adult store, I should say. So I'm like, why are they going there? They're not being intimate or anything. So what is the purpose of them going there? So they're playing there. She's like, God says, be fruitful and multiply. And so she's going to go there so that she can be fruitful and multiply and have orgasms because orgasms make you closer to God. The ecstasy of orgasms make you closer to God. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, shut up. I was like, how can you? And she really believes this. And I'm like, how can you say that? Like, are you serious? And she was serious, but I'm like, orgasms make you closer to God? I thought prayer, fasting, worship made you closer to God. I didn't know orgasms made you closer to God. Anywho. So they're in a store. When people go to these adult stores, they play with things, they explore things. She's bent over the counter. He's spanking her with the leather thing with the tassels. He's spanking her with that. She's like, oh, harder. And I'm like, oh my God. I was embarrassed for them. Okay. And so, he thinks by them going to this store that he's going to get some action. And Andrea is like, no, boo-boo, you still ain't getting none. She's just like, I'm going to take these toys and I'm going to lock myself in my room and I'm going to enjoy myself. And he can still sleep on the couch. Poor Lamar. Poor Lamar. Anywho, Clint goes to his parents' house and he basically just lets his mother know that he is going to bail Tracey out of jail. His mom is not happy about this. Of course she wouldn't be happy about this. And she basically, she's like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? She's not going to, get clean until she's ready to get clean. You're just wasting your money. She's gonna fail bail. She's not, when she's out on bail, she's gonna fail the terms of the bail. So you're just wasting your money. You shouldn't be doing this. You should just let her stay there. And I'm like, yeah, mama's right. But our parents give us advice, and sometimes we listen to our parents' advice, and sometimes we don't listen to our parents' advice. But I just feel like Clint is old enough to where he should have common sense. And no matter how much you love a person, sometimes you gotta let them sit in their shit. And I think this is that time that he should let Tracey sit in her shit. But of course, he says he loves her. He can't be without her, and he's just going to do what he has to do for his wife. And his mom said, at this point, it's between us and Tracey, and eventually you're gonna lose us, and we're not gonna be there. And I don't think Clint is heeding that warning. I think Clint he's just all about Tracey, and he wants to get Tracey out of jail. And that's that. Brittany wants to find her other kids, and she's going to meet with a lawyer to get the answers, because she said she didn't think that it was a good idea to try to contact their father, which of course not. You were 12 years old. He pimped you out. He had sex with you while you were underage. Why would you want to contact him? No, we're not doing that. So she goes to a lawyer. At first the lawyer sounded like, you gave up your parental right. Well, the state took your parental right, so it's not going to be that easy. But he also said that they can look into it, but it's going to take some time, because since it was through the state, the adoption was closed. So it's going to take time for them to figure out where the kids are and everything like that, and if the adopted parents want them to meet her and everything. So I hope that works out for her, but it's going to be a process. And Marcelano is not really convinced that they should do that right now, because he said that she's not working, they have bills coming in, they're about to have another child, poker is on a downswing, which is why in the other episode Brittany was insisting that he got a job, and obviously he still hasn't even tried to get a job, because he feels like he should be making $60,000 a year. And my thing is, whatever you make is bringing income into the household. It may not be what you want, but it's still bringing income into the household. So I think Marcelano needs to, he needs to get it together. He needs to get it together and get some type of job. Megan meets with her friend, and she says that she hasn't heard from Michael in 3 weeks. And I'm like, yes, good. Don't worry about Michael. Move on with your life. You're a pretty girl. You seem like you're smart. You're not smart when it comes to Michael, but you seem like you're smart. Move on with your life. Stop worrying about Michael. Michael is not worried about you. Michael has moved on to somebody else, okay? Even though he says y'all will eventually come back together, Michael knows that you will stay there, and Michael knows that he can always come back to you, but you need to close that door, okay? Her friend, he asked her about the rest of the visit of Michael's trip, and she told him, what was going on and how they basically called it quits and everything. And her friend, I think his name is B, is really happy for her, for this, that Michael's not talking to her, that they called it off, because he says she deserves better. And I agree, Megan, you deserve better, baby girl. Know your worth, okay? Leave Michael where he is. You really do deserve better. I'm here for what B is saying to Megan, but she's still sitting here saying that she wants to be with Michael, that it'll take time, but eventually they'll be back together. And Megan is just stuck on stupid for Michael, and I'm over it. And I'm just like, Megan, no. I don't know if you're really like stuck on Michael, or if you're just doing this for this show, but I want you to get it together, okay? You are a beautiful, strong black woman, and you need to realize that. And Michael's not worth your time or your love. Find somebody who's going to truly love you, or hell, be single and love yourself and find yourself, okay? That's my advice to you. Sarah is outside with the girls. She's waiting for Michael to show up, but she says that she's not going to tell the girls that he's coming because she doesn't want to disappoint the girls, and she doesn't want to tell them that he's coming and he never shows up. So they're basically just waiting. Well, the girls aren't waiting, Sarah's waiting, and the girls are just playing. They don't know what's going on. So Michael is still in the Uber, and he says that Maria is someone that he's trying to grow with. So you couldn't do that with Megan or Sarah? But even though you said your marriage was over with, you couldn't grow with Megan. Why? Because Megan wanted you to be committed, and Megan only wanted you to be with her and not anyone else. So that's not what you wanted. That's basically what it is, because he was saying that Maria allows him to have his way, basically. So that's what he wants. He doesn't want commitment. He wants someone that's going to let him have his way. And Maria is the fool, yes, that's going to let him have his way. And she's just basically going to go for whatever Michael says, because he was like, I want someone who's like, if I want a threesome, they're gonna let me have my threesome. And he's like, I don't want to cheat on you, but I want a threesome. And basically Maria is that type of person. And Maria seems really like a dunce to me, because she said that and this is my opinion, okay, I don't know her, but this is just my first opinion from the show. And she was like, she knows that Megan and Michael are still, not Megan, Sarah and Michael are still married, but they're only married on paper, that she and Michael are married emotionally. I don't know where people come up with this stuff. I really don't. But, girl, y'all ain't married emotionally. Michael is with you because he knows he can get what he wants. And he knows that you'll do whatever he says. So guess what? He using you just like he was using Sarah, and still is using Sarah, because Sarah is paying for his phone bill and some other things. And just like he was using Megan, but he ain't getting nothing from Megan no more. Hopefully. Well, no, she said she hasn't spoken to him, so no. So, Maria, you're just another pawn in Michael's game. Okay. Despite his mother's warnings, Clint goes on to bail Tracey out of jail. At first, when Tracey first gets out, she doesn't want to be on camera. She's like, I want my privacy. They respected that. The next day, they do an interview. Tracey said that she's happy to be out of jail, and she talks about her experience in jail, how she doesn't want to go back. That is not a place where she wants to be, but it's hard for her because of her addiction. She says she is going to court, so Clint is going to get his money back. She's adamant that this time she wants to get clean. She says she wants to get help. And Clint basically said that if Tracey doesn't change, it's either going to be death or jail, which is true. And so she needs to figure out whether she wants to be in the grave because of her drug addiction, go to jail because of her drug addiction, or actually try to get help. And she did say that she wants to get help, and I hope that she gets that help, and I hope that's really what she wants to do. I mean, she's been in jail for a little while, so she has a clear mind and a clear head, and she's not on any drugs right now. So hopefully that now that she's able to think clearly, she will be able to get the help that she needs, the help that she deserves. Tony is still sucking up to Angela because he has to be in her house. That's the only reason. And he's saying that how he's getting sick of these rules and that he's about ready to break these rules that Angela set because they're worse than the halfway house rules. And he basically just wants to do what Tony wants to do anyway. And like I said before, he doesn't love Angela. He's just there out of convenience because that is somewhere that he has that where he can stay to have that where he can have a roof over his head, basically. So Angela is going out, and he's like, oh, where are you going? How long will you be gone? Will you be coming back? Blah 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 blah. And she was like, why, Tony? Why? So you can why do you care when I'm coming back? So you can beat me back? And I'm like, girl, really? So I'm like, if you can't trust him, why do you have him in your house? Why do you want to be with him? Just let him go. Like, tell his parole officer he got to go somewhere else and move on with your life. Like, come on, Angela. You're old enough to know better. Anyways, she meets up with her friends. And they asked her why Tony isn't there, and she was like she didn't want Tony there. She needs time away from Tony. Her sister calls him a sleaze, which he is. Honestly, he's a sleaze. Her sister calls him a sleaze, and they're basically saying, what she basically tells them what's going on with Tony. And while she's talking to her friends, she's checking her phone, and her friends are like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, I'm tracking Tony. I'm checking to see where he is. So apparently she has a tracker on his phone, and I'm like, if you gotta do all that, let it go. Like, I just feel like being like, even kids know better. Let it go. Let it go. Elsa, Frozen, let it go. Okay? Let it go. And it's like she doesn't want to, and I'm just like, bro, it's not, like, Angela's really irking me with this whole thing with Tony. So basically, her sister, says that she should give Tony a little taste of his own medicine. And I don't think they should do tit for tat. I think she just needs to leave him alone, because that doesn't solve anything. People are still gonna do what they want to do no matter what. So I don't think she should do tit for tat. And I'm just like, how can you? She still says that she's considering marrying Tony, and I'm like, how can you marry him if you don't trust him? It's not gonna work. The relationship's not even working at this point. So why would you go into a marriage? I don't think Tony really wants to marry her. I think he said that he asked her to marry him out of convenience. Lamar and Andrea, excuse me, Lamar and Andrea are having scripture study. And Lamar feels like he's being forced into scripture study because he doesn't want to do it. He's a Christian. He's not going to switch over to Morman, no matter how much. Sorry, I still don't know what the heck I did with my lights and my tripod. I gotta find them. Like, they were in my room, but now I don't see them. Anyways, I gotta find them. I have to find them because this is not working, and my arm is killing me from holding this phone. Trying to hold this phone very, very still. Anywho, so her friends show up and he offers them beers, and I'm like, Lamar, okay, even if you don't agree with the religion, don't be disrespectful. That's not cute, brother. Don't do that. Her friends show up, and I already said that. He feels like she should accept him as he accepts her. He feels like she should accept his Christianity as he accepts her Mormonism. Is that it? Mormonism? I think so. So he feels like she has her religion and her beliefs. He has his religion and his beliefs, and they should leave it at that. She's basically trying to convert him over to being a Mormon, and he's not with it. And the points that he's making are valid points. He was saying, like, just up until 1978, I believe it was, black people weren't even allowed to be Mormons. Why would I want to be a part of a religion that doesn't even like want me to be a part of their religion? And that makes sense. Like, why would you want to be a part of something that you originally weren't even meant to be a part of? Does that make sense? No. And he's also said, you know, he gave other reasons. He's solidified in his faith of Christianity. He believes in God. That is what he believes. And he's just like telling them why he doesn't want to be a Mormon, why he's not interested in being a Mormon, and I agree. Well, I don't agree. Well, I get his points. Me personally, Christianity. But I understand where he's coming from, and you can't force anybody to be in your beliefs. Okay? And my thing is, did he know this before they got married, and that she was a Mormon, and now she's trying to force him into being a Mormon? And it's not going to work like that. And Andrea and the other lady, her friend, were saying basically how they want him to see how being a Mormon changed their lives and made it better for them. But if a person does not want to convert over to a religion, you cannot force them to convert over to that religion at all. So, you know, he says he can't feed his soul something that he doesn't agree with. And I agree with that. Like, if you don't agree with something, don't consume it, because it basically starts to become a part of you. So he basically asked, can he be excused? And they say yes. They say he can go. Angela's trying to set up Tony. She tells him that she won't be coming home, but she's sitting outside her house. She wants to see if he is going to take the bait and try to leave. But I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you sit out in front of your house if you have a tracker on his phone? You basically can see where he's going from wherever you're at. But I just think that's dumb. I think that if you have to do all that, it's not worth it. But whatever, we'll see what happens with that. Michael shows up. He actually shows up to spend time with the girls, and Aviana is having a fit. Aviana is not happy that Michael's there. Aviana is scared. Aviana is crying. Sarah tells him to give them a minute. Aviana is bawling, and I'm like, oh, poor baby. Like, I don't know if she's crying because she hasn't seen him in it forever or what, but then she's able to verbalize because Sarah, and one thing I can say, Sarah is a good mom. Sarah calms her down, and Sarah talks to her, and Sarah asks her, like, what's going on, what are you feeling, what's wrong? And she says she's basically scared that he's going to take the kids. And Sarah's like, no, he's not going to take you anywhere. He's just going to spend time with you. And that's sad. This is exactly why he should not be in and out of their lives. This is exactly why he should be there for those girls. Start worrying about all these different women. Start running from state to state, trying to see all of these women, and spend time with your child. Spend time with your children. Especially Aviana, because she's old enough now where she can understand and she can express herself and express her feelings. So Sarah says that it makes her sick because she feels like he's going to ghost her again. She feels like he's just here for one day or maybe a couple of days, and then after that they won't hear from him for weeks or months again. I just think that's not the way you should treat your children. If you really want to be a father, if you know what you went through with your father, you should be there for your children. And you should be spending time with your children, and you shouldn't be worried about anything else. Your children should be your main priority. He basically feels like Sarah is trying to keep the girls away from him, but Michael, you haven't even been around. Okay? So he says he knows his rights, which basically, if they haven't gone to court, they both have full rights. Even though Sarah is the custodial parent, she has them, but they don't have any, as far as I know, they haven't been to court because they're still not divorced. They don't have any custody agreement. But Sarah did go to a lawyer because she did say she was concerned that Michael was going to try and take the girls from her. So she did go to a lawyer. So they're talking, and she's asking him questions, and he basically said that he doesn't have to explain anything to her, which he doesn't, because they're not together. So he doesn't have to explain anything to her except when it comes to the girls, because she's asking him where he's staying, who he's with, and this, that, and the other. So he basically was like, can he get the girls? And she asked him like, where would he be staying with them? And because he can't stay there. And he was like, I know I can't stay here, I have a room. And she's like, who are you with? And he was like, I'm with someone, but he never told her. And he was like, and she was like, so you think it's fair that you get the girls and you take them around another bitch? And I was like, well, first of all, Sarah, that's not nice. You don't even know this woman, so you should just say another woman. But I think she still wants Michael, honestly. And I think that's why she's behaving this way, because she still wants to be with Michael. But she asked him, was it Megan? And then they cut, and that was the end of the episode. So he never answered her who he was at the hotel with. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry that this video is so long. I talked a lot during this video. But thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you had not already done so. And if no one else tells you that they love you, Arsharae loves you. I love you guys. Bye.